above answer choices were correct. Our last question. After learning that she was the sole beneficiary in her wealthy uncle's will, a niece broke into his house while he was away one evening. She brought with her a vial of poison that she believed would be lethal but undetectable. She poured it into a glass of water that her uncle had placed on the bedside table. During the night, the uncle took a drink of water and the poison started to affect his ability to breathe. Thinking he was having a heart attack, the uncle started to go downstairs to call his doctor. On the way, he slipped and fell down the stairs, breaking his neck. He was found dead the next day. An autopsy revealed that the uncle had ingested poison, but not in sufficient quantity to have caused death. Further investigation led the police to the niece, who was arrested and charged with burglary and murder. Based on the above facts, what crime or crimes should the niece be convicted? The correct answer in this case is burglary and murder. We know that burglary is definitely one of the charges because that is the breaking and entering of a dwelling with the intent to commit a felony therein. She broke into his home, which it states in the facts, with the intent to commit a felony therein. She broke into the house with the intention of poisoning her uncle. Poisoning someone is a felony. So therefore, the burglary charge is satisfied. Now, the murder charge, I know you all may be thinking, well, how can she be charged with his murder if he didn't die of the poison? So again, to answer that question of why she can be charged with the murder for the poison is because we have to employ the tests that we learned in our earlier readings. So first, we have to ask ourselves, is she the actual cause of his injury? Now, granted, it says here that the uncle died from falling down the stairs and breaking his neck. He did not die from the poison that he ingested from his niece. But if we employ the but-for test, we see that the niece is the actual cause. Now, but for her putting the poison in the water that the uncle drank, he would not have started feeling the symptoms that affected his ability to breathe. He would not have started thinking that his inability to breathe was him having a heart attack. He wouldn't have gone down the stairs to call his doctor, and he wouldn't have slipped and fell down the stairs. So the act of him ingesting the poison that was left by the niece is what set all of these things into place that led to him falling down the stairs and breaking his neck. So it doesn't matter that he didn't die from the poison, because we now see that the niece was the actual cause. He died from breaking his neck, falling down the stairs, all of which was set in motion by the poison that she put in the water that he subsequently ingested. Now, with respect to the proximate causation, the legal causation, we can say that she's also the proximate cause because all of these things are foreseeable events. It is foreseeable that if he drinks this poison, that he may start to feel the effects of this poison, which in this case was his inability to breathe. it's foreseeable that if he starts to feel these things, he's going to try to call his doctor or some kind of medical personnel so that he can receive some help. And in doing so, he had to go down the stairs and thus he broke his neck. So all of these things were sort of the natural consequences, foreseeable consequences that flowed as a result of the niece's initial act of putting the poison in the water that he ingested. So having satisfied the actual causation and the legal causation, we have the intent, we have the actus reus, we have the concurrence. The niece can then be charged with burglary and murder. Okay, so those are, well, if I did go through the other answer choices here, burglary and attempted murder, no, because he was he was he was murdered. He did die, so attempted murder would not suffice because of the inchoate offenses. Attempt merges into the murder. So if someone is actually murdered, you cannot be charged with murder and attempted murder. Either they were murdered or you attempted the murder and you did not succeed. The offenses merge. So because she can be charged with murder, she can't then be charged with attempted murder. So that is why that answer is correct. And the last answer choice is correct because this was not an attempted burglary. She actually succeeded with completing the burglary. So it's not attempt. And for the reasons that I just explained, attempted murder is incorrect, which leaves us with answer choice B, burglary and murder. Okay, so those are all 15 questions. That was a review of all 15 questions. If at the end of this review a concept is still unclear to you, please reach out to me via email. You may see some of these concepts again in your final examination, so it's very important that you understand everything. I will be sure to add the additional points for the answers that were selected, the incorrect answer choices that were selected that I said I would give credit for. I'll be sure to do that this evening. And I will also be sure to have the written portion of your midterm exam graded by no later than tomorrow. One final announcement. Your syllabus does say that the information for your mock hearing will be uploaded onto Blackboard during week 4. I will have that information uploaded this evening. You will find it under the week 4 tab. There are no assignments due this week because I would urge you to start working on your mock hearing. It is worth 20% of your grade, and that will commence next week. Have a great week. And like I said before, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me.